What started out innocently with teddy bears became anything but at the VMA Awards in September. A performance that had tongues wagging.
It became that moment of a singer, songwriter, entertainer finding that special moment.
I thought it was sloppy, and I didn't think it was professional enough for her. I think she's got to go back to the drawing board.
About a woman who most of America knew as Wholesome Hannah.
I am so mad!
A Disney character living a double life. But if her recent appearances have made anything clear, it's that Miley isn't Montana anymore.
I can give you an update on what she's been up to. She was murdered.
Tonight, in the spotlight, Miley Cyrus. Valentine's Day, 2014, sliding down a supersized tongue. Miley launched her Bangers concert tour, a wild, raunchy ride complete with straddling, crotch-grabbing, and the pop star's trademark twerk, owning up to her headline-making antics from 2013. Miley Cyrus, more outrageous than ever. But on April 15th, the grinding and twerking came to a halt with a surprising announcement. 2 months into her salacious tour, the singer was hospitalized after a severe allergic reaction to antibiotics. The rest of her U.S. shows were postponed, and Miley fans crushed.
I'm devastated. I'm pretty mad.
But Miley stayed in touch with fans from her hospital bed, tweeting updates, posting photos, and shooting down rumors she was hospitalized because of drug problems. Quote, "Happy 420 Easter," she tweeted. "I'll be where I've been the past week. In bed, crying, not stoned." And after her nearly 2-week hospital stay, Miley was even more emphatic, telling reporters in London, "I didn't have a drug overdose. I took some antibiotics that a doctor gave me for a sinus infection, and I had a reaction." Out of the hospital, the singer got plenty of reaction when she released a racy S&M-inspired video called Tongue Tie. Wearing fishnet stockings, latex underwear, and pasties, Miley stirred the controversy even while on the mend. Then, on May 4th, after canceling 8 shows, she announced her comeback. The twerking queen posted a video on Instagram to prove she was ready. On May 6th, Miley's tour resumed in London, picking up like she never left. Back on tour and back on track. Barely a trace of the wholesome young girl from Tennessee. It was 1994, the first time the world met little Miley Cyrus, just 2 years old on a country music interview show. She was already a showstopper.
Do your eyes, Miley. Do your eyes. Very talented child.
Perhaps a sign of things to come.
Now, this is very dangerous. You're teaching her to flirt at a very early age, you know. You're going to be in big trouble when she's about, what, 12, 13?
Whenever the camera was on, she was on. And you could also see that from a very early age. I always got the sense that she was calculated, but like in a good way.
Calculated and destined for big things. Not entirely surprising for a little girl who was originally named Destiny Hope Cyrus.
I felt it was her destiny to bring hope to the world. You know, I do think that this is her purpose, is her path. You know, I think she's a natural-born singer, songwriter, entertainer.
And it didn't hurt that her father was a hit maker.
Don't tell my heart, my achy breaking heart.
The fact that he had, one big hit with Achy Breaky Heart, puts him in a level where he had access to, musicians and producers and record company people that she probably would not have met were it not for her father.
What could be better than having a famous father? Having a music legend like Dolly Parton for a godmother. She was just a toddler back in 1993 when she was on the stage with many of music's biggest names.
Everybody was holding her, and she had her hands up, she was singing, and the last guy to hold her at the end of the song was Tony Bennett. And Tony Bennett came as the song ended, He said, "You got a special little girl here."
Yet, despite being surrounded by fame, Miley had a normal childhood. Raised a Southern Baptist, home was the small town of Thompson Station, Tennessee, on a 500-acre farm.
I love being outside, and we'd build big fires up on top of the hill and sit out and look at the stars and roast marshmallows and wieners. I was good at those types of things with my kids. I wasn't good at setting them down and saying, you know, let's do your algebra now.
But he was good at watching out for his little girl, who even as a toddler had her eyes on bigger things. Producer Steve Peterman.
They were doing a video thing of him down at the farm, and Miley was out there, and she was 2.5 maybe. And they were at a barn on the property, and Miley was standing up on some landing, and Billy said, "Be careful, honey." And she put her hands on her hips, and she said, "I'm not afraid of anything." And that's 2.5.
Fearless and bold, two traits that continued to define her as she grew up, went to school, and became a cheerleader.
She went to a private evangelical school, Christian school, for a year.
Rolling Stone editor Josh Ells had rare access to Miley.
She was asked to leave after a year. She has a couple of different versions of why, so I'm not sure which one is really the one. In one version, she told the class all about what French kissing was, and in another version, her teacher was, I guess, an older woman who got around on a little motorized scooter, and Miley stole it at one point and was cruising around the classroom on her teacher's scooter. Whatever the case was, it was not the perfect fit.
What was a great fit for Miley? Music.
She had an ingenuous way of getting what she wanted by being charming and lovely and enthusiastic and willing to take the burden of work on as well.
And by 2001, what Miley wanted became crystal clear when the family left Tennessee for Toronto, where Billy Ray was filming the TV show Doc.
Miley, she kept saying, "Daddy, can they write something in for me?" And so they wrote her in one episode. And from the time she did that episode, she was like, "Can they write me in next week? Can they write me in next week?" A few weeks after that, she and I went to see Mamma Mia in Toronto, and I'll never forget it. It was that combination of acting and the performance on stage of the singers, and she said, "That's what I want to do. I'm going to be a great actress and a singer-songwriter. This is what I'm going to do."
And Miley went for it.
I'm Miley Cyrus, and I'm auditioning for the role of Zoe in Hannah Montana.
In 2003, against her father's wishes, she auditioned for the role of a lifetime.
I think you could see the sort of long-range plan when you look at her Hannah Montana audition. You could see that she knew exactly what she was doing.
But producers weren't so sure. When we come back, Miley's battle to become Hannah Montana.
D-Mark.
I'm Miley Cyrus, I'm with CED, and I'm auditioning for the role of Zoe in Hannah Montana. And yes, it's your red sweater, but you
In 2003, 11-year-old Miley hoped this audition would be her ticket to Hollywood.
The truth of the matter is she was the least likely person to get this job.
Producer Steve Peterman was part of the Hannah Montana casting team.
She was an 11 that looked 9. Way too small, way too young.
Miley, dead set on becoming a star, wouldn't give up.
Hey, I'm Miley Cyrus, and I'm 12 years old. So good, and so good for you. It's kind of like a fruit and a vegetable, you know, like a vegetable.
And she read for us, and she read for us over and over again. She would do some lines fabulously, wonderfully, and she would miss other lines by a mile.
Oh my gosh, I know, I'm an idiot.
But I couldn't take my eyes off her.
2 years later, producers still weren't convinced. They gave Miley one last shot.
If your friends read the script and know that, you know, this is your final audition for this project.
Only my 3 bestest friends know.
And it ultimately came down to Miley and one other girl. with Miley, there was something about her that was so alive and so fearless, and all of us finally agreed to take the chance.
At 13, Miley Cyrus became Hannah Montana.
Booger check. You're so gross.
And was living her dream. Miley was a perfect fit for the plot line. A schoolgirl with a secret double life as a teen pop star.
Lily alert in 18 seconds.
She's your best friend, Miley. Sooner or later, you're gonna have to tell her you're Hannah Montana.
I think that's one of the things that really connected about Hannah Montana was the realism that, well, wait a minute, this is art imitating life, imitating art.
Miley auditioned her own dad for the part of her TV dad.
Good job, Miley.
Baby, get ready, get set, don't go.
One of the episodes called Ready, Set, Don't Go. I wrote that song as Miley left for California.
No daddy ever wants to see his little girl grow up.
The series was picked up. I knew that her life and our lives as a family was going to change.
Work it out, work it out.
The show and Miley were a smash. Hannah Montana became one of Disney's highest-rated TV series. And Miley shot up to teen idol status.
I think you could see the sort of long-range plan when you look at her Hannah Montana audition. You could see that she knew exactly what she was doing.
And that's straight, I swear.
She knew that the role would be a stepping stone to other things. Merchandise, TV, music. She was really the first star to embrace all of these things.
In 2007, she released Hannah Montana 2, Meet Miley Cyrus, the soundtrack to her TV series, and debuted under her real name. Her second album, Breakout, with hit 7 Things, went platinum. In 2008, a hint that Miley was feeling the pressure of being one of the biggest teen stars on the planet.
I feel like the media is kind of like a mother, you know, it's like trying to, you know, let their young one go or whatever and let them grow up, and I feel like they're kind of having a hard time with that.
Miley's next conquest, a film career. She landed a part in High School Musical 2.
Bolt.
And then the voice of Penny in the animated movie Bolt.
Bolt is lost. He could be anywhere by now.
And in 2009, Miley brought her TV character to life on the big screen in Hannah Montana, the movie.
Like Vita says, it's all about the publicity.
It did $31 million in its opening weekend. It really just cemented her as more than a singer, more than an actress. She was an all-around performer.
And she was white hot. But Disney's billion-dollar baby would soon get her first taste of controversy. It all started with a provocative Vanity Fair photo shoot. 15-year-old Miley, barely dressed, no longer the girl next door. Then Miley shocked fans when she spiced up her performance at the 2009 Teen Choice Awards by pole dancing to her hit Party in the USA. The video went viral, and parents postal.
Her fans and from their parents were like, whoa, this isn't the Hannah Montana that we know.
We couldn't do much about that. It's that fearlessness, that sense of spontaneity, that sense of what's she going to do now? And it means that she's going to, at times, make mistakes.
But Miley was unfazed.
I think that the media always tries to kind of overdo it. It's really no one else's business how my parents raised me or how I'm being raised.
Yet even her parents were concerned when a video surfaced of Miley taking a bong hit.
Okay, I'm about to lose it now.
I was alarmed for my daughter's safety.
Miley downplayed the video, saying it wasn't pot she was smoking, and apologized for the Vanity Fair spread. But her image was changing. Her 2010 album and single said it all.
Just look at the album title, Can't Be Tamed. I mean, she put it right out there. I feel like we saw it play out in front of our very eyes, this person breaking loose of the Disney character.
In 2011, the split became official when Miley quit the show that made her a global phenomenon. Hannah Montana was no more. Coming up,
you were down there and I said, you know what, back the off. It's almost a brand new Miley.
I just feel like
a brand new Miley and a brand new controversy.
I'm about to jump out of a mother plane. And all for the love of Rolling Stone.
Yeah. 2 years after Hannah Montana ended,
I'm terrified.
21-year-old Miley Cyrus is on the edge. She's skydiving with Josh Ells of Rolling Stone magazine. Extreme, unafraid, and ready for reinvention. This is the new Miley Cyrus.
What a land!
We were both kind of terrified, I think. It was a situation where neither of us really wanted to back down. I think she just likes doing, she's kind of like pushing the envelope right now.
It's a very difficult thing to do, and few can pull it off. When you make that break, it has to be a break. You can't leave one foot in the preteen tween world.
Miley moved out of her parents' house and in with boyfriend Liam Hemsworth, quit acting to focus on a bold new pop album, and started distancing herself from her wholesome Hannah Montana image.
She got a new label and new management. She felt like she needed a change because, not that they were going to hold her back, but just that they might be sort of scared of the way that she was going to go.
And Miley was gonna go for big risks. With her first single, We Can't Stop, she released a video full of sex, drugs, and in her words, shaking it like we on a strip club.
It was the first glimpse into the post-Hannah Montana Miley Cyrus. And we saw a woman with a shock of white shaved hair rolling around in a bed, playing with plush toys.
Derek Blasberg interviewed Miley for Harper's Bazaar.
She knew it was her make or break moment with the record label. And I think she told the record label, look, if you give me this one chance to do it my vision, and it goes belly up and it's a bust, I'll do whatever you want.
She risked it all, and it worked. Breaking records, going viral on Vivo, and reaching over 10 million views within 24 hours of its release.
it's our body, we can do what we want to.
Now, Miley could do exactly what she wanted to. And what she wanted was a memorable performance at the MTV Video Music Awards, where millions of Americans would get their first look at the new Miley.
She was a little nervous because this was the big rollout of, this is who I'm going to be now.
On stage with Robin Thicke, Miley stripped down to nothing but nude underwear, grinding with a giant foam finger, and she twerked.
She twerked her way into history, it must be said. And I was sitting right next to Lady Gaga's mom, mind you. And then I remember turning around just to see what those around me were doing. And everyone had the same expression on their face, which was like, are you seeing what I'm seeing?
Miley's reaction?
She laughed the whole thing off. It didn't seem to faze her. She knew it was going to get a reaction, and that's part of why she did it, but everyone is talking about her.
And she said exactly what she thought in her MTV documentary, The Movement.
It's a strategic, hot mess.
I was just walking the timing, man.
Okay, no problem. Right now I'm in a point in my career where I can just be exactly who I want to be. Just go for what you want to do.
The controversy only fueled her confidence. In her next video, Miley was sometimes naked while riding a wrecking ball and licking a sledgehammer. And this time, she wanted to show something different, her vulnerability.
Two-thirds of the way through the song when the bridge hits and you really, you see her shed a tear.
A tear over a tortured romance, rumored to be about her fiancé, Liam Hemsworth.
I think she wants to show the more sensitive side of her and not just the party girl side, too.
Soon after its release, Miley and Liam announced they were breaking up for good. Wrecking Ball became the #1 song in the country.
The one thing that you can't deny, even going back to Hannah Montana, she has a really good voice. She knows how to sing, and Wrecking Ball just puts it out there.
I'm going to list some words that some people have used to describe her. Disaster.
Definitely not. Very, very calculated and very self-aware.
Gifted.
Yes, definitely gifted. Has talent.
Fearless.
Very fearless.
And finally, genius.
Well, I don't know about that. Let's not go crazy.
The new Miley is in control. I think she's really smart and knows what she wants to do with her career next.
And what she does next, she told MTV, will be unforgettable.
I was like, every time I do anything, I want to remember this is what separates me from everybody else. I do get so overwhelmed when I'm going to perform because everything has to be perfect. Everything has to be so huge. Everything we do has to be a moment.